What up, everyone? My name's Yusuf. You know me as the movie lover, and today, we're going to be reviewing the new Netflix miniseries, Hollywood. Now, I wasn't going to review this show, but I was absolutely shocked when I saw the low Rotten Tomato score that it had. I freaking loved this show. It debuted on May 1st, and I watched it on Thursday night at midnight, and I sat through and I watched all 7 episodes in one sitting. I finished at like 7 a.m. and I didn't get sleepy once, which never happened. So that's just how much I love the show. And when I read the rotten reviews, it really pissed me off, and I'll tell you why. The biggest complaint that I saw was that people said that this isn't what really happened, and Ryan Murphy should look back at Hollywood, at old Hollywood, and be angry and have hate and deliver something real. I don't think anybody who's saying that actually watched the show, because that is the exact opposite of what the show is, and there's literally a plot point, literally, about how doing that would be a mistake. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, but the show basically is about all these people who have dreams of making it in Hollywood, whether it be as an actor, screenwriter, or whatever, and they're working on this very controversial, diverse film. And it's about like all the work that they did and all the shit that they had to go through to get it done. Now, obviously, this show's a fantasy, because back then, the harsh reality is that Hollywood simply didn't hire diverse people to work on their films, and we know that, trust me. But what's so great about the show is that Murphy and Bernnan rewrote Hollywood history, just like Tarantino did in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, telling us what should have happened back then and how much it would have meant to people if it did. The brilliance of having this set as a period piece is that it serves as a warning to Hollywood. The conversation that's going on in this show is one that's sadly still going on today, and I think Murphy and Bernnan are reminding Hollywood of the horrible mistake it made, and that it's still not too late to right this massive wrong. So let's just shift a little bit. Let's talk about the cast, because they were all really, really amazing. David Corenswet as Jack is absolutely charming. I loved everything he brought to the table, and I could feel his desperation. I could feel his desperation permeating off the screen, and I just loved seeing the evolution of his character throughout the show. I've never really been a huge Darren Criss fan, to be honest with you, but I adored him here. As somebody who wants to be a director, I could feel his pain and could really relate to what his character went through. Jeremy Pope and Jake Picking are the heart and soul of this show. If Jeremy Pope doesn't get an Emmy for his performance here, I'm gonna be really upset. He had some of the best scenes, and he pulled off the emotion amazingly. I rarely cry while watching stuff, but boy did I sob like a baby during this show, and a lot of it was thanks to these two. Jake Picking plays Rock Hudson, and I just felt really bad for his character. The subtlety of the performance that Jake Picking gave was amazing, and a lot of acting is reacting, and I think he did that really, really well. Jim Parsons has no range as an actor. But I admire the hell out of him for taking this role and really, really committing to it. He is asked to say and do some really shocking and disgusting things, and to his credit, many actors would have just phoned it in or simply refused, but he gave it his all. I'm a huge Samara Weaving fan. If you guys haven't seen Ready or Not, please watch it. It is so good. And I was so excited to see her in this, but when the show started, I really hated her character, boy. Like, wow. And I was concerned about, is this all that Samara Weaving's gonna do? Because I'd be really upset, because I'm such a huge fan of her and she's so talented. But as the show continued, her character really grew on me. So that's a relief. Dylan McDermott as Ernie, Patti LuPone as Avis, Holland Taylor as Ellen, and Joe Mantello as Dick are all superb here, particularly LuPone and Mantello. Patti LuPone was a freaking badass here. She plays the wife of the head of the studio, and when we first met her, I wasn't sure about her character, but boy did her role get juicier. Wow. And Joe Mantello was simply brilliant. He has a scene towards the end of the show, you'll know it when you see it, that made me cheer at like 4:30 in the morning. It was amazing. I love them. And I love everything about his character. I don't want to spoil it, but like the journey that his character goes on and the realizations that he goes through, I think were really touching and really heartbreaking. And then Queen Latifah as Hattie McDaniel and Michelle Kruzek as Anime Wong are also very good here, but their roles are very, very small. But they make a huge impact on the show, particularly Kruzek. Every time she was on screen, it brought a tear to my eye. Like, there was a scene where they were all doing the table read for the movie for the first time, and she's sitting there and she was just like, I never thought I'd be sitting here at another table read again. And it just made me cry. And there's a scene at the Oscars as well with her character that just, like, I was weeping. Like, it was, yeah, I was a wreck. It was bad. Like, it was good, but it was bad for me. I feel like the one weak link in the cast, though, is Laura Harrier as Camille. I mean, she was fine, but she didn't really pop like the rest of the cast did, which is weird considering the story kind of centers around her. That being said, she did have some moments here and there, and the writing for her character was particularly good. I feel like if another actress was in the role, maybe Zendaya, then it might have been a little bit better. And let's talk about the writing, because it is excellent. Every character is well thought out, and their subplots are interesting and serve the main story in a meaningful way. Although this is a fantasy, everything leading up to the last episode is painfully real. They capture what it's really like to produce a film, especially as someone who is not a straight white man. They remind you that Hollywood is a tough business, that many people resort to doing some unsavory things just to be able to feed their families. They remind you that you don't always get to make the movie you want. They remind you of the horrific racism and homophobia that existed back then and quite frankly still does today. They remind you of the horrible, horrible sexual misconduct that went on at the time. But where the show shifts is with the finale. The title of the last episode is A Hollywood Ending, and it is fully aware that if this really happened back then, if they really made this movie, then the outcome would not be the same. They are giving someone like me hope that we can do it, that despite all of the BS, someday Hollywood will finally evolve, and in doing so will change the world. Movies are important. They help shape how the world sees itself, and it is crucial for them to represent everyone. Murphy and Bernnan are angry that Hollywood messed up so horribly, that they're showing us that we're decades behind where we should be, where we could have been. As a Middle Easterner who wants to be a director, I know it's going to be hard. And hell, I've contemplated giving up many, many times because it would just be impossible. I mean, it's never been done before, and people are telling me that I'll never make it. This show gave me hope. It showed me that someday, although it's going to be a really, really tough ride, Hollywood will eventually be ready. I don't really want to play the race card, but a lot of the critics giving the show a bad review are white people, and particularly white men who are already in this business, who are already successful in Hollywood. So they don't understand. They simply just don't understand the impact that the show has and the importance of it to someone like me. So, should you watch Hollywood? You bet your ass you should. It is amazing. This is the show that we need during this hard times. It gives everybody hope. It makes everybody feel all light and fuzzy inside. And it gives us hope for a brighter future. Plus, I think on the technicality standpoint, the show is very aesthetically pleasing. The colors, the sets, the costumes were all great. The shots were all framed and blocked elegantly, and the soundtrack was just tremendous. So, that is my review of Hollywood. What did you guys think? I'm very curious to hear what you guys thought of the show down below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you going to watch it? What do you think about the bad reviews that the show is getting? Leave that all down below. Thank you guys so much for liking, watching, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.